Hey guys, this is Eric, and I am bringing you episode 8 of my Island Retreat Let's Build a House. And yeah, if you saw right in the very beginning, the first couple seconds of footage, you saw that little boy, like the mail delivery guy. He was just like chilling outside the house on a jet ski. Like he wasn't even doing anything. No one lives here. Like, what is he doing? Like, he's not delivering mail. No one even lives in this house. He's just chilling. So I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, I thought it was weird. But yeah, so here we are taking right away some recommendations we got on YouTube. Someone said maybe let like the bench be like the lime green part of the room and have the rest of it like be neutral. And that was a good request. I was trying to implement the orange wood and the lime green and the white, and it was just like way too loud in the kitchen. So this is like the perfect request. I go ahead and implement what people had requested for me. And yeah, it ends up looking so much better. And I'm really glad that we went ahead and that like recommendation specifically, I'm glad we took. So yeah, trying to figure out how to maybe put like something in the bench just so it's not empty. But I don't know. I also do kind of like it empty because you can use it as dining. So we're probably just going to keep it the way that it is. And yeah, we like play around with some different color tile. I leave like the dark tile and the light tile, or I don't know. I just don't know which one I want. So I end up going with the dark tile, and I think it suits the room a little bit better. But yeah, we'll probably still come in and do editing in the kitchen. I believe we do the upstairs, and I'm not sure if we touch the downstairs this episode. I think we may, but I got a little bit frustrated, honestly. This part of the house was just giving me trouble, and I did the living room, and I felt really inspired to get the living room done. And for the most part, it's done, but it came out like, I don't know exactly how to say it. I guess I was just getting frustrated with this like living area. It's awkward shaped. It's not like the easiest to design, and I don't know what the rest of the house is going to look like. So I don't really know specifically like the style. I mean, this is like close enough, but I want to make the rest of the house like different for the other characters that are in the family. So we do like a little bit in this episode, and then we switch over to the main building and to the white building and start doing some interior, because I don't want to bore you guys. You don't want to watch me do this living room 4 episodes in a row, and you know what I mean? So I switch it up a little bit, and we go ahead and do the kitchen and the living room and the dining room in the white building, and then we do the floor plan in the main building. And yeah, that aside from the like little bit of work we do here in the main, or rather in the master building, is basically all we do in this episode. It's about a 20-minute episode, and we do some like good progress. I get a decent amount of the white building done, and I kind of like start figuring out exactly what kind of layout I want for the house, because there's 4 people in the family. There's Marietta and Chris, and they are the couple that live in the master suite. And then there's Chris's sister, his twin sister, Chloe, who lives in the white building. And then there's Marietta's son, Mark, who lives in the main building. So there's this building here. So there's just like a lot of different dynamics going on and a lot of different like specific needs for different parts of the house. So I wanted to come in and make sure all of those needs were met. I wanted to make sure there was a bedroom, at least one big bedroom with at least one bathroom on this building. Ideally, I would like 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms out of the wood building, and I got 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. So we'll see next episode about trying to figure that out. So yeah, here I'm adding a walkway from the front of the house to the back, so you can like get to the master suite without having to go through the main building, which is something I didn't even realize until this episode. I didn't even realize that that was the only entrance to like the master suite, which is not great because the entire flow of the main building at this point, or before this point rather, I guess, was dependent on the flow. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like the getting from the front dock to the master suite was dependent on how the main building flowed and how you walked through the main building, through the living area, through the kitchen, into the backyard. And it didn't seem logical. It didn't seem like that's the way that this would be built. So we went ahead and added that like back ramp that connects basically the whole house. And yeah, so here we're just kind of tossing in stuff none of this design in the main building at all is set in stone. I'm just adding in like doors and items just to see how I guess how they like interact with the build that we're doing, because I'm not exactly sure if this is how I want to keep this building. It looks good. I think it looks good, but I think that there's a lot of missed opportunity, I guess. I think that the space is definitely big enough to get 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. The issue is connecting the bedrooms to the front of the house where the glass is. And if you do that, then it kind of makes it less private. It's like right in the front of the house. So, so we're going to probably 2 bedroom, 1 bath in the main building. 1 bedroom, 2 bathrooms in this building, the white building, and then 1 bedroom, 2 bathrooms in the main building. So we're going to come out with about, I don't know, I didn't do the math in my head when I was saying all of that. So we're probably going to end up between 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, 4 to 5 of each probably. And I think it's going to be like a really luxurious looking house. That's how it's turning out so far. And yeah, so none of this stays. This is like god awful. We end up coming and changing the kitchen in here, and this is where we spend most of the episode, I want to say, because we do make really good progress in this building. I guess kind of the vibe that I was going for with the creative family is that Chris and Marietta, the couple that live in the master suite, are like, I guess, like the main couple of the family, and then the other 2 are Mark and Chloe. And yeah, here we are playing with the, the jet ski kid. Yeah, so Mark is the son and Chloe is the twin sister of Chris. So Chloe's just kind of like crashing at this house, and she's got the guest house, the white building, basically to herself. And this is Mark's side. So I went ahead and made Chloe's side very reminiscent of her style, or at least what I think her style would look like. So when we are making design choices for the white building, like bedroom, kitchen, like, and basically the colors and design of the whole like white building, we are running with Chloe's style and doing kind of like a softer, more feminine. I don't want to be like stereotypical and just because she's a woman make it like pink and purple, but I don't know. I had some really good inspiration for this design specifically that I saw on Anthropology. I don't know if anyone shops at Anthropology, but it's a ridiculously overpriced hipster store, and it's kind of awesome. So I had some some inspiration from that. Yeah, I pull in like this color scheme that I saw on their website, and I end up using pastel pink, purple, and blue with gray. So that's going to be the color scheme for her side. It's really soft and kind of like antique looking, but also really modern. It's got this like eclectic vibe. And it was something that I really wanted to like drive home, is that I don't want the whole house to look the same. I want to use different stuff. And in doing her style, I got to use a lot of new items that I haven't used. There's a lot of supernatural, because they have a lot of cool knick-knack things like statues and little like display items and stuff like that. They have a lot of really good items for that stuff. So that's what we're going to use in Chloe's side. We're going to try to use more of the supernatural, which is interesting. It's a very unique fit for this build. And yeah, just doing like basic stuff, getting like blacking out, I guess, the like foundation area of the house, and just little stuff. That stuff I really notice when I'm playing the game. I'll see that stuff all the time. Those details drive me nuts. So that's why we change it. And yeah, so this is going to be like the basic area for Mark. It's the main building, and it's like the family. You know what I mean? Like if there's a master suite like there is in this build, and there's like a main building like there is in this build, this would be like where the family hangs out primarily. This would be like the heart of the house. So I'm trying to make it that way. Lots of seating, lots of room, big and open. I want to make the kitchen really, really high end. The kitchen I made in the master suite is really high end, and it looks really modern. And I bring that inspiration into the guest building, the white building, and do the kitchen in there kind of similar and in a really modern, really high-end way. But yeah, I just want the kitchen in the main building to be the nicest one, because it is the heart of the house. And yeah, so at this point, we're running off of the kitchen that I had sectioned out when we first built the white section many episodes ago. And I'll interrupt myself here. There's the supernatural stuff I was talking about. That's going to be her style, kind of more like unique, more like antique, fancy, but also really modern. Anyway, we are running with the kitchen right here. It's the shape that I first defined in like way earlier in the season, or in the series rather. So I do definitely come in and change that because I think to myself, you know what? I'm trying to do this kitchen in this area and it's just not working. So I'm going to come in, move it to the other side of that like larger space. So you walk in through the doors into the living room instead of into the kitchen. And I guess either of them is appropriate, but I think it makes more sense to enter into the living room, even if it is an open concept. So yeah, we switch spaces. Here's where we go ahead and put the, if you see me adding things like that, it's not necessarily for design. I'll just add like a dining table here or like a couch here just to designate this is the dining room, this is the living room, and stuff like that. It's not necessarily meant to stay. And yeah, this is one thing I'm on the fence about. I like it and I hate it at the same time. So I have no idea what to do with it. Leave in the comments below if you like the platform for the dining table. I think it looks nice. I just think it takes up way too much space in the room. So we nix it and we end up just putting a dining table in the same spot, just on the floor. And yeah, so far the kitchen in the guest house, the white building, is definitely my favorite room of the house. I think that using like bright colors as focal points in kitchens is really on trend. If you like, I don't know if you follow interior design at all or anything like that, but using like neon colors and bright colors in kitchens is kind of on trend right now, especially like greens and stuff. So we kind of try to come in and bring in a vibe like that, like a bright color and a very specific color for the kitchen, but also try and match it with like the muted color scheme of this house. It is not easy to be bright and muted at the same time. So we come in and do a lot of editing and get this down the way that we want it. And the kitchen in here is awesome. It turns out small for the building, actually a little bit bigger than this. So I guess it's not that small, but yeah, it's definitely my favorite room of the house so far. I think this is going to be my favorite part of the house, is Chloe's part. And yeah, so this is the basic shape for the kitchen. We end up extending it one more square, so we get some decent livable space out of it. And I don't know if that happens all the time, but I connected that pink shelf to the white one, and it turned it white. That probably happens to everyone, but that had never happened to me before. And I've done this before, where I've connected shelves or counters rather, of different colors. And yeah, it never did that to me before. It was weird. Anyway, so we are adding in the like, what are those called? Cabinets, duh. We're adding in the cabinets for the kitchen. And I like the pink color, and it definitely is on like point with like the feminine aspect I'm trying to do for this house. But it's just, there's some things that I don't necessarily care for about it. I like white and pink together. I feel like white is a nice anchor for pink, but pink is, it just looks like a Hello Kitty kitchen at this point, and I do not like that. So we end up coming in and changing it to like a soft blue. There we go, right there. It's like this Tiffany blue color, and I think that suits the kitchen way better, way better. So we end up running, yeah, with that like powder blue color for the kitchen. And yeah, here in a moment, I think we like knock out some of these cabinets, yeah, and extend this a little bit. We extend it one square, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but it makes that door in the back of the house symmetrical on that wall, and it gives us a little bit more kitchen space, which we needed as well. So overall, it just worked from a design standpoint to make the kitchen this size. And yeah, so I also, one thing I hate about doing kitchens in The Sims is that the refrigerators break up your style so badly sometimes. Like if I put the refrigerator against the main wall with the tile right there, it would look so out of place and it would make it asymmetrical, and I just didn't want to do that. So we end up hiding the refrigerator in one of those nooks in the kitchen. You'll see in a moment. And yeah, so I'm trying to nail paint colors down. That's the soft gray and the pink that I want to go for. Soft gray, pink, and light green in the master bedroom, I believe. So that's kind of the color scheme we're going to run for. And yeah, this is the dining room. The dining room gets finished in this episode, and the living room does not. I don't think we really focused much on the living room in this episode. I kind of just drop furniture in and say, whatever, I'll do it later. But yeah, the kitchen is basically finished. I want to come in and switch the tile because it's the same tile I used in the kitchen. So obviously I want to come in and switch that. But otherwise, yeah, I think the kitchen is pretty much done. Yeah, that's what I mean. Adding that refrigerator there made it really asymmetrical. So that's where we hide the refrigerator, is on that corner. And when you're looking at it at the kitchen from the dining room or from the living room, you can't see the kitchen, or you can't see the refrigerator rather. And that was my goal, was so it doesn't like break up the counter space and make it look asymmetrical. And yeah, like I said, we're running with more of like an eclectic sort of like hip style for Chloe's side of the house, because I mean, she's young, she's a professional deep sea diver. I don't know, I guess that's not really a hip thing to be, but it's not hip, I guess. So I don't know. But this is how we do her side. It's basically done. We do, well, not the whole building, but at least the living space. We are going to do her bedroom in the next episode. I think we're going to focus on this building next episode. We'll do her bedroom, the bathroom, the other bathroom, the communal bathroom, and then her office. And that will be the guest house, I think. And once this is fully finished, I am going to move on to the main building and do the wooden building and get Mark's side of the house really like nice and settled the way we want it. And then I'm going to finish the master suite. And like I said in episode 7, I think this will probably be about 12 episodes. I think it's probably going to be around 12. It could go more than 12, but we're going to shoot for that. I don't want to make it to the teens. That would just be a really long series for one house. So, yeah, there we go. That's the finished, I believe, kitchen. We end up connecting the bar on both sides. Oh, no, that's right. We end up putting a couple counters in the middle of the kitchen space just because there's this big open area and no sink. So I figured this was a prime opportunity to add a dual sink right in the middle of the kitchen. I don't know if I love it or not. Well, I know I don't love it. I like it, but I don't love it. So leave in the comments below if you have any recommendations for the kitchen, what to do with the sink. Because I could easily add it on the blue bench or in the middle, but I don't know. I've tried both and I don't love either of them. So let me know in the comments below if you have any recommendations for that. And yeah, here we move to the dining room and start doing the design for the dining room. I love that geometric print. I never saw that for some reason. I comb through the prints all the time, finding new ones that I think look good together for like print clashing and stuff like that. So I'm always looking for new prints to use together. And I found this one, and on that rug, I actually think we used that print in the master suite first, but I was like so in love with it. I absolutely have to bring it into this house and use it. I thought it would look so awesome as a wallpaper. It would look like such a modern, but at the same time, I think it would be a wallpaper that perfectly fits the vibe I'm going for this part of the house. So that's like where the desire to use it comes in, and yeah, I think it looks so killer. And yeah, so we switch up, put one door over here just so I could switch the door and make it tinted on the outside, if that makes sense. I hate seeing the tinted windows on the outside and the not tinted windows. That just drives me nuts. And so yeah, here we are like laying down colors that we want to use for the master, or for the guest building rather. And that's the like grayed out grape color that we go with. And one thing I really like that's on trend in interior design right now is wallpaper that's the same color as the paint in the house. So you'll see that the walls are grape and the wallpaper is the exact same color, but it just brings this like really fresh print right into the heart of the house, and it is exactly the type of like focal wall that I was trying to do here. Obviously, I'm gonna have to come in and change the rug because the rug is the same print as the wall, but that wallpaper in grape on the wall I think just looks awesome. And yeah, as you can see, we kind of like do the design on the chairs and on the table and all that stuff for the dining room, but kind of like neglect the living room. But that's because I wanted to nail the style in the dining room where my options are limited with tables and chairs, and then move to the living room where I have a lot of options to match the rest of the house with all of the sofas and all of the like living furniture that I have. So that was kind of like the game plan, I guess, moving forward with the guest house. And yeah, so that's like kind of the design we run with for the chairs and at the dining table. I wanted them to look really mismatched, like you bought them all separately. And I think it's pretty successful. I also put the leather awesome like queen chair at the front of the table. But anyway, guys, there's 10 seconds left in the video. Thanks so much for tuning into this video, and I will have a few more videos up for you guys really soon. All right, later, guys.